Okay, so we just got this video from Riot drop just here. Now, you'll have to forgive the quality. I don't know why Twitter videos are so bad, but here we go. Let's just listen to it. It's about the state of the agents. Let's go.
Talk about Valorant's new agents of 2023. Earlier in the year, we brought LA's sunny vibes to the Initiator role with Gecko. Now, him and the homies' spot in the roster is still forming, but we're excited to see how he emerges given the recent changes. Norway rolled in super hard with our new Sentinel Deadlock, and we've heard that many of you are feeling her addition to the roster is a bit weak at the moment, so we're keeping an eye on places to improve that would better help Deadlock react to pushes on the fly. Now, there's one last agent to go. It's been almost 2 years since our last duelist Neon joined the roster. Many of you Precision Ego fraggers have been asking for a new duelist, and this one's for you. Now, this one's got a little twist that you never thought would make it into Valorant, but some of you have been guessing in the right direction.
Okay, that's it. Let's first go through this video, and then I'm gonna talk just briefly about some things that maybe I'm a little concerned about. But let's just talk about this, right? So the first thing they mentioned was Gecko, right? And Gecko released, and I think you mentioned like the basically just seeing how the new changes are with the new mosh pit and whatever.
Him and the homies' spot in the roster is still forming, but we're excited to see how he emerges given the recent changes.
Yeah, so basically, you know, Gecko got a little buff, and gonna see if he's any good, right? But then they talk about Deadlock. So let's listen to this Deadlock part.
Super hard with our new Sentinel.
I wouldn't say super hard.
We've heard that many of you are feeling her addition to the roster is a bit weak at the moment, so we're keeping an eye on places to improve that would better help Deadlock react to pushes on the fly.
Okay, so that's it. So Deadlock is getting a buff, basically. I mean, that's pretty much confirmed. I mean, I don't know how else you would interpret that, and specifically, how to react to pushes on the fly is what they said.
That would better help Deadlock react to pushes on the fly.
It's interesting that they show a video of the GravNet there. I'm not sure if that means like, hey, we're going to give Deadlock a second GravNet. Seems like a possible change. React to pushes better on the fly. Maybe something about like, I don't know, honestly, that could be a lot of things. It's probably not so much like the sonic sensor thing, I don't think, but probably more to do with either the barrier mesh or the GravNet, I'm guessing, is where that change is going to come in. And then finally, let's talk about the new agent as well.
Now, there's one last agent to go. It's been almost 2 years since our last duelist Neon joined the roster. Many of you Precision Ego fraggers have been asking for a new duelist.
Many of you Precision Ego fraggers have been wanting a new duelist. Oh god, are we gonna get Reyna 2.0?
And this one's for you. Now this one's got a little twist that you never thought would make it into Valorant.
Okay, so it's Reyna 2.0 with a little twist that you'd never thought would make it into Valorant. Great, that sounds like a dream, doesn't it? That sounds like everyone surely is going to love this agent then. Something that has something that shouldn't be in Valorant and is a Reyna clone. Sounds like, oh, what fun that's gonna bring. This is a little bit of art that they provided. I'm not sure, is this the agent's hand? Kind of looks like Deadlock, no? I don't know if that's the agent or not. Also don't know what this food is exactly, or you know, if this tells us a location of where they might be from. You guys might know. Let me know if that is the case. But yeah, this is the new agent leak. If it is a Reyna clone, I'm gonna uninstall the game. No, I won't. But I don't need a second Reyna. Can you imagine how bad it's gonna be if you have to play teams constantly with Reyna plus whatever this new like Reyna clone version 2.0. I'm not quite sure what the twist would be. The first thing that comes to my mind is like stealing abilities. What exactly did they say?
Precision Ego fraggers have been asking for a new duelist, and this one's for you. Now this one's got a little twist that you never thought would make it into Valorant, but some of you have been guessing in the right direction.
So some people have been guessing in the right direction, but it's something that you wouldn't think would be in Valorant. My first and only thought is like stealing abilities, like, you know, like let's say Reyna, you get a kill and then you steal one of the abilities of whoever, like one of your abilities is to steal one of their abilities when you get a kill, right? That's all I can think of, but maybe I don't know, maybe let me know what you think it is in the comments down below. You know, maybe someone will probably get it right, which would be fun. But now let's talk about why I'm a little disappointed about this. The reason I'm a little disappointed is because this is the state of the agents in September 22. So a year ago, they released this article, right? And in this article, I mean, just look at how, like, considering what we just got there, and there is an article that came out with that video, which basically just exactly repeats what was said, just those little three things. Look at this, right, where they talk. So obviously at this point last year, it was about chamber and how they wanted to balance chamber and all of that. And then they talked about how do they decide that an agent needs balancing, and if that worked, right? And then they went into all of this, right, like all of these different things, and all of their design principles and all of that. And then they had a whole like separate like kind of little thing about designing game balance versus balance perception, and how that's important as well, right? And that people want to experience something that they feel is fair, but it's like, some people might perceive that something isn't fair when really the numbers might say that something is fair, right? So that's like a difficulty for them. And then they give these little fun facts about agents and their balance and that, and just all these things, right? Talking about chamber, and then taking a look at Cypher as well, and Phoenix, and just like a ton of different stuff. And then they gave a little hint at Harbor as well, who was going to be the new agent at the time. And like, to me, this is like all very interesting stuff, and I get that they're not just going to repeat this, because it probably hasn't changed. But one thing that I'm a little concerned about is, in that they only talked about the agents from this year, right? They talked about Gecko, Deadlock, and the new agent. In this, they're talking about, like Cypher and Phoenix, right? Agents that were at the very start of the game. And that's what maybe I'm a little concerned about. Like, are we getting to the point? And I don't think we are at that point yet, but this, if they do just keep adding agents, this is where a problem will come in, right? Where, you get to a certain amount of agents, and it's like, you can't like keep your focus on all of them. You're only going to be focusing on some of them because it just becomes too much work. And most likely the ones you're going to focus on are the newer ones, right? And I'm sure, like League of Legends is obviously like an easy example because it's another Riot game, right? Where they have just like an absolute ton of characters in that game that you can play. And, that means that a ton of them, don't get much support or, regular updates or whatever, and whatever. And I don't think we're at that point in Valorant yet, but, like, that will become a problem if they do just keep adding agents, right? Eventually we will reach a point where they just keep adding and adding and adding, and then like certain agents in the game, particularly older ones, are just going to be left by the wayside just as they are, and just, shrug of the shoulders. Oh well, deal with it. And I personally don't want that to happen. So yeah, considering what we got last year, and this very detailed like whole thing about all the agents and some interesting facts about different agents, this kind of little insight that we were getting, and now instead we've just got basically like, oh, Gecko, it's okay, Deadlock's not so good, hey, there's a new agent coming out, like, I was a little disappointed because when I heard that this was, going to be released today, I was hoping we might get something, very interesting like this, but I guess not. But that's just me. Let me know what you think of maybe, the new agent or Deadlock or whatever in the comments down below, and I will see you tomorrow.